God only makes one kind of day, whether the skies are blue or gray. Each day that dawns is like the rest that ever came and went. The best. Of one stuff only they are made. In the same balance, each is weighed. And each dawn, God says, for good or ill, take it. Make of it what you will. That's true. I would like to read it again, only there just isn't time. But never forget, God only makes one kind of day. Every day can be a good day. When you have faith and confidence in Him, you may question me. You may say this thing is very debatable. You may say, how can it be? When yesterday was so filled with sorrow and you tell me it was a good day, it depends on what you did with that sorrow. That sorrow can be the greatest blessing that ever came into your life if you only take that sorrow and use it. Use it for God's glory and use it to help another. The greatest people living today are among those who've had the greatest sorrows and the greatest heartbreaks. You'll find that they're touched by the feelings of another. If I were in search of a friend, a good friend, and that word friend is used so loosely. I know someone who, maybe 100 times a day, they refer to somebody as my good friend. My good friend. And then somebody else, my good friend. Oh, dear me. That word friend is used so loosely. Whoever said that somebody who had one good friend was rich? And the rarest thing in the world is for one person to have two, perhaps three good friends. But you cannot be a good friend, a real friend, unless you have had some sorrow, some disappointment, some heartache, so that when that one is your friend goes through a Gethsemane, has a broken heart, only you can comfort that one, and can comfort with just a touch. Perhaps not a word is spoken. I know what I'm talking about. Words so cheap. Sometimes words are just so cheap and so insincere, you know. Just before we went on the air, the engineer who's at the control now, I said to him, say, do you still have that little dog? He has the nicest young daughter and the nicest young son, just children. And he got them a dog. And so I was questioning, do you still have your dog? Oh, yes, he said. And he said, do you want to know something? He said, you don't fool children and you don't fool dogs. He said, I watched it. Somebody can come to the house and say, oh, isn't that the nicest little dog? And he said, the dog will know immediately whether that one is sincere or not. That's right. You just don't fool children and you don't fool dogs. They sense insincere people. There's something that's instinctive. Yes, beloved, words are cheap. So cheap. What do you have on the inside of you? You can tell a great deal about a person just from studying his attitude. People are mean, suspicious, vindictive outwardly only when they're mean, suspicious, vindictive inwardly. Watch that very carefully. I've never found a person yet who was mean outwardly. But what, if you study them long enough, you'll find that they are not a beautiful person inwardly. And you can't be a beautiful person inwardly. You can't have nice, clean thoughts and a pure heart. You can't be loving inwardly and not show that love outwardly. It's like that. People are mean. People are suspicious only because they're mean and suspicious inwardly. And the more confident a person is of his own value as a person, the better his attitude toward others and the world is. We're just talking about everyday living. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about your neighbors. I'm talking about the folks with whom you associate. Big people just naturally treat you well. They're smiling, they're courteous, they're confident. Being happy with themselves as people, they reflect it. They have nothing to fear. You reflect outwardly what you are inwardly. Never forget that. If you see somebody who's courteous, see somebody who's smiling, they're happy, they're confident, they have nothing to fear because inwardly they have peace of mind and peace of soul. They're secure. Insecure people do not reflect security and confidence. When you are a secure person, you can afford to smile. You can afford to be courteous. And you do it so automatically because you are secure. An insecure person is always small, seldom courteous. Only little people will treat you badly. A secure person seldom treats another badly. Only little people will treat you badly. Only insecure people will treat you badly. Only that somebody with a complex. And maybe at first you'll not realize that person has a complex. You'll not realize that that person is insecure. A loud mouth is just a cover-up for insecurity. These are the people who will never really, really grow up or mature. There's something stunted in their inner growth, their confidence in themselves. And since they're not happy within themselves, since they're not confident in their own ability and worth as an individual, they can only see the world in their own reflection. And as a result, Their treatment of you is a kind of punishment of themselves. We can only love others to the extent that we love ourselves. By carefully observing how others treat you, especially strangers such as store clerks and salesmen, elevator operators and gas station attendants, employees of all kinds, even the garbage collector. You know, that's a good test. How does a man treat you who picks up your garbage? Huh? Oh, somebody says, my goodness alive. Now, don't let's carry this thing too far, Miss Kuhlman. After all, he's just the man that collects the garbage. Do you want to know something? I've gotten prayer requests from some mighty big executives. I've gotten requests for prayer from senators and members of their families. I've gotten prayer requests from some of the biggest people in the world. And yet, the greatest compliment in receiving a prayer request was when my garbage collector left a prayer request at my back door and said, my dad's in the hospital, Miss Kuhlman. Please pray him through. I wept over that prayer request. Yeah? You can only love others to the extent that we love ourselves. Be careful, be careful. What you do to your love, guard it carefully. It's the most priceless thing that you have. And if you're not quite sure as to how much love you really have, I'll tell you a mighty good barometer. You can test your love by the way the ordinary person treats you. Oh, I know, you wish you hadn't tuned in today. You don't like old-fashioned cornbread, do you? Especially Missouri cornbread without molasses and without butter. But we've come to the time when we need to talk about these things. We're losing our real sense of values. People with the best attitude just naturally reach the top of any business. And so the higher up you go in any business of value, the nicer the people seem to become. Because their good attitudes did not come as a result of their better jobs. Their better jobs came to them as a result of their attitudes. People frequently make the mistake that when they meet a successful and happy person, they say, I'd be happy too if I had what he's got. I've heard of that over and over again. Oh, sure, I'd be happy too if I had his job. I'd be happy too if I had what he's got. It's just a natural tendency to think his attitude is the result of his success. But it's not true. That's not the case. It's just the reverse. Someone once wrote, the greatest discovery of my generation is that people can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. Each of us attracts the kind of life that we as individuals represent. That is, before a person can achieve something, he must become the kind of person this something would naturally belong to. We must first be the person we would like to be before the things that person would have can come to us. It might sound complicated, but it isn't really. Not really. A good mental attitude is even better than mental ability. For your attitude tells the world what you expect from life, and you'll receive exactly that, no more, no less. You'll never receive more, you'll never receive less from life than that which you expect, than that which you have put into life and living. You'll never receive more than you have given. You're sitting on the other end of this thing and you'll say, nobody's giving to me. Life has never given me anything. What have you given life? What have you given to another? Have you given happiness? Have you made somebody happy? You see, this whole thing has to start from within. That's what people don't understand. That's exactly what people don't understand. They don't understand that this miracle that I'm talking about starts from within. It starts first of all with the heart. The heart governs the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. But it's that heart. There's got to be that new birth experience. There's got to be that wonderful personal transaction between you and God. You cannot force yourself to love someone when that love is not there. We're trying to legislate love. We're trying to spend billions of dollars. Sometimes I think this is the most stupid generation that ever lived. Oh, sure. That was a great accomplishment. Walking on the moon. Oh, and we pat ourselves on the back and say this is the greatest generation because we walked on the moon. I'm not underestimating that. We did walk on the moon, but we're destroying ourselves by our hatreds. And we're stupid enough to believe that money can buy love. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't buy a baby's smile. You can't buy a baby's love. You can't even buy the love of a little puppy dog. You can't do it. You can't do it. We can spend billions of dollars and never make one man love another. You cannot do it. That miracle starts from within. That's it. Don't wait for some miracle to be performed on you from without, lifting you above your fears and your doubts and your self-centeredness. You help God from within by turning outgoing love to others. And miraculously, you find that your own fears, you find that your own doubts, your own self-centeredness will vanish. Throw your will on the side of outgoing love, and all the healing resources of the universe will be behind you. That's it. The gateway to humanity has a lock. shaped like a heart. But the key of understanding can make those portals part. When we strive for understanding, we're on the road to peace. But we all must join in striving if the war drums are to cease. We must all give up our hatreds. Hate's a self-devouring flame. Just one thing can quench its fire, just one thing. Understanding and love is its name. What we need is to come back again as a nation, as a people, forgetting our differences, and again bow the head and bend the knee in the presence of the one who is love, who can give us that love, and with that love will come understanding. And if we don't do it, and do it quickly, you and I are going to soon find out that we will have destroyed ourselves through hate. I have given you something simple, and yet it's the greatest key of the hour if we'll only accept it.